Spoiler alert, I brought the Chevy Colorado to a professional closed course and I left having a lot more confidence in this truck. Alright, we are beginning with a 2017 Chevy Colorado Z71 long bed with a 2.8 liter Duramax diesel. And we are at a professional closed course in Virginia put on by Overland Expo East. And I have a professional instructor from 7P International riding along with me to guide me through this course. Now we're starting the course with some easy bunny hop bumps here. Now as you notice as I go over the bumps, I'm already rubbing on the underside of the truck, which indicates I need either bigger tires, a lift, or a shorter wheelbase. Now, as we come up to this bigger hill here, I actually get stuck on it, and you'll be able to watch this whole ordeal in the previous video I released on specifically getting stuck on this hill and how I was recovered off of the hill. Now this was kind of interesting because this was more like a cross axle type of situation. The dips were about 1.5 feet deep. Now I was slightly rubbing on the bottom, but it was nothing that I had to use a locker. But I was in 4-wheel drive this whole course. Now going through this course on video, it doesn't look like a big deal. But if this would have been in so-called real life, I probably would have been very hesitant to do this without an instructor in the vehicle to kind of guide me through this, because those divots did look pretty deep. Now this next section is actually kind of a continuation of that last section, except these are a little bit deeper and they're a little bit closer together. So here I'm kind of judging what my limits are and what the truck's limits are, and the instructor encouraged me to go ahead and go through this. So, but again, right here you can see the G80 locker kick in to get me through that. So that kind of indicates a little bit of how deep these divots were, even though it's hard to tell on video that it looks very deep. So again, if I was scraping the bottom, and my rear muffler was also hitting and scraping as well. So just keep in mind, this is dirt, so it's not a big deal. But if this was out in the wild, so to speak, that probably would have been rock or hard dirt, which would have done a little bit of damage to the underside of the truck. Now this next section here, we're coming up to a huge hill, and again on video it doesn't look like a big deal, but once you get going up this hill, you're literally looking like 45 degrees straight up into the sky at the moon. So it's a little nerve-wracking not to be able to see what's in front of you, and you're looking at straight sky at this point. So again, the instructor is guiding me through this. There is some poles on both sides to kind of guide us through and make sure we're not like falling off the side. But again, it was a scary thing for the first time in doing something like that. I've never been in a situation where I'm looking straight up at the sky. So now as we come up to this next obstacle, it actually puts your vehicle at a pretty good angle to where you feel like the truck could potentially flip over on its side. Again, it was another good test of the truck's ability to really put the truck through a section that required a lot of concentration to make it through. If you look at the tires, you'll see that only a few inches of each tire is actually touching the ground here. And potentially, if I did not keep the wheels straight going through this obstacle, the truck could have slid left or right and onto its side. Another good test for the truck. Now as we come through a little bit more major of a obstacle that tests the breakover angle and the lockers of the truck, you'll see as I go over this obstacle that I actually get one wheel completely in the air, so I'm just driving on 3 wheels, and that is when the G80 locker kicks in. And I have to say that going through this course and seeing the many times that the locker actually kicked in, I have to say that having a locker for your vehicle is a necessity, and I'm glad that I found that out by doing this course. This last section, they had put some logs into the ground, and although of course they're not very high and it's not a big deal, you see me going a little bit slow, and what I was more concerned with was one of the logs hitting a tire and then popping up and busting my side panels or what. Now, if you also have a stock truck of some form and you've been a little hesitant to get it off-road, I would highly encourage taking this course by 7P International. They were very professional. The course was laid out very good, and it gave me a lot of confidence in my truck that I did not have before. So I hope you enjoyed this off-road course that I put the Chevy Colorado through. Be sure and watch this next video